Good afternoon. This is Brent with Murphy's Aquarium with a quick tip. So some of you may be aware that your local fish store can test your water for you. Now this comes in handy if you need to do a sanity check, or maybe you just didn't have time to go through all the various parameters, or there's a lot of parameters to measure, so maybe you go to them. Maybe they have a multi-parameter tester that tests things in 5 minutes. Be as it will. One of the things I want to impart in this quick tip is that, folks, just because they're the local fish store, doesn't mean they are 100% right and accurate. And what I'm trying to impart is that, don't leave your mind at the door. When you walk in and you ask for a water test, be skeptical. And all I'm trying to say is like, when they give you those test results, if they don't make sense to you, then there's probably something wrong. So I'll give you an example. Back in many years ago, there's a local fish store that's no longer in business now, that was right around the corner from my house. And I went and got my water tested, and I believe I was testing for nitrite. Or it may have been nitrate, I don't remember. But the gentleman tested it, and he looks at it, and the water is completely clear. Now, if you're familiar with chemical reagents, they change the color of the water depending on how they react. My water was completely clear, and he's like, "Oh, I'd be proud to have this water in my aquarium." And I'm like, that don't seem right, because I forget exactly, because I probably was testing and I was getting some levels and whatever. Still, I'm like, "Can you test that again?" He's like, "Sure, okay." He tested again, and then, this time, all of a sudden I've got color, and it's, way higher than 0. And it's like, okay. He's like, I must have used the wrong reagent when I tested that. So that's example 1. Example 2, I went to a local fish store, not around the corner from my house, let's say. And they have one of those automated testing setups that I'm not going to name what it is because I don't want to get in trouble. But it's fully automated. You get a printout. It gets up on the computer. It tells you what all the parameters are. And this is for saltwater, by the way. Previously it was for freshwater. And I get a result back, and they're like, "Well, your pH is a little low, 7.7. Let's see, your nitrite is at 0.1. I'm like, okay, that's about where I've been measuring it. You're like, your ammonia is 0. And I'm like, do it? Because I'm thinking my ammonia has been 0.5, 0.6, at least 0.3. And then they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is great. And then they're like, oh, and your nitrate is 0. And I'm like, whoa, what? No, there is no way my nitrate is 0. Excuse me, my nitrate is 0. I've been cycling this thing for how long? I haven't done a water change in 2 weeks. There are 0 chance it is 0. So I asked him to test it again. And I paid, another $6 for the test. Because I'm not going to be like a pain in the ass about it. And, demand I get another one for free. That's, probably not right. Anyway, so they tested again. I get pretty much the same results. I think nitrite was 0 on this particular reading. Nitrate is still 0. And I'm like, huh. And I'm trying to explain to them, I think your system's reading wrong. And they're, unfortunately, it was close to closing time. So they weren't particularly, interested in troubleshooting this with me. But hey, it also was very close to closing time. So, okay. So what do? I go home. I'm like, there's no way. So I haven't been testing nitrate. So I test nitrate with my HANA multiparameter meter, and it comes back as 50 or 50.1 or something like that. And I'm like, okay, that is definitely not 0. And then I go and I get I believe it was a sulfur nitrate test. And I'm like, let me do another test. And I do that. And it's right in that 50 range. Because again, you're comparing color to a color. So long story short, what I'm trying to impart is don't leave your mind at the door. always approach this with skepticism, and if it doesn't make sense, something's wrong. Now, it could be something's wrong on your end, but don't make decisions right then like, oh, my ammonia is 0. I'm going to bring fish home today and throw them in the aquarium and then they die. We don't want that. So don't make rash decisions when, you're doing your testing and cycling. And this is Brent again with a quick tip. Hopefully it was quick enough. Have a good day. Bye-bye.